Hello, everyone. It's good to be back with you, and Father John's here, and we're doing our monthly wrap up again, and to introduce you to some new items and events that we have planned for the near future. So it's good to be back, and it's now a sunny day in the beginning of late January. I'm thinking February.
Feels like January just began. In fact, the last time we updated you, it was actually way back in Advent. So a lot has happened and a lot will be happening. So let's jump in.
Jump in. Well, looking back, speaking of Advent, we had a great holy hour. 100 people showed for that. That was a wonderful, what's Christmas?
Well, the beautiful thing about that holy hour was it was days before Christmas, and when we planned that,
right.
when we planned
I
it,
did that one.
when we planned it, we were like, do we do it close to Christmas? Do we not do it close to Christmas? We figured maybe no one will show up because everyone's out shopping or planning or preparing their meals. But we did, as Father Anthony mentioned, we had 100 people turn out, which I think just speaks to people craving a little bit of quiet, a little bit of prayer in the midst of all of the busyness. So I thought that was the perfect way to enter into Christmas. And for me personally, this Christmas was the first normal Christmas that I had in parish life as a priest. Because the last 2 years we were kind of restricted with different things, or there was a lot of uncertainty. So it was great to see packed masses, full church, the Advent Holy Hour, the Wednesday before, and then the weekend of Christmas itself. So it was so great to see a lot of familiar faces. It was nice to see some new faces, family members and friends from out of town, or people that made their way back home. So we had a great Christmas here.
Yeah, that was great. I also did a sacred art presentation, which
keep busy, huh?
Yeah, which was great. We had about 50 people for that over in Sacred Heart Hall. I put together some paintings with different imagery and explained the different parts of the paintings and what they mean. And so when we look at a painting, it's not just a matter of seeing something well done and beautiful, but it also teaches. And the evening was entitled "The Beauty That Saves." And when we look at religious art, even beautiful art, it can bring us beyond this world and into the presence of God, where we contemplate His many gifts, His mercy.
It's one of the things I loved about what you kind of captured right at the beginning. You the whole night was framed in what you just said, that things can be aesthetically beautiful, but it really is sort of a window into the divine. And even what I find, you've been to Rome a lot more times than I have been, but when I stand in front of artwork, I think to myself, another human being created this. I can barely draw a stick figure. And to think of the immense talent and the gifts that artists have to help us catch a kind of glimpse. So,
yeah, I had a lot of fun to do that. I got a couple of people had sent me notes and things that they were sorry they couldn't make the evening. They really wanted to be there.
You getting fan mail now?
I'm getting fan mail, yeah. I'm an influencer.
After that second mail bin is down the hall, I was wondering what that was for.
So my friend Father Sean asked me to do a presentation just like this during Lent. So I'm going to be at St. Pat's at some point. I don't know. We haven't gotten a date together yet, but I hope to do it down there with different paintings. I've been investigating different paintings and all that kind of stuff. So
taking a show on the road.
I'm taking my show on the road, at least 2 miles down the road.
It's one other thing before I forget. I want to mention a parishioner brought an original Albrecht Dürer woodcut, which was, I don't know how many 100 years old.
500 years old.
And there was this massive frame for this small woodcut, but it had all the documentation from the curator of the gallery where it was acquired from. So it was cool to have a living piece of history in our midst.
Real piece of art, original art.
Yeah, original. It wasn't a copy or...
Yeah. and it was the it was the happy scene of the beheading of John the Baptist, and all that entailed. But it was a beautiful print, and yeah, we were very thankful that we could see that. Trivia night. There were a lot of teams, 14 teams of what, 8 people,
I think
eight
so,
or
yeah.
8 or 9 people. That was a lot of fun. I didn't stay for the evening, but I left Father John and Rose and a group from Kellenberg, teachers from Kellenberg, not the kids.
Yeah. And you think the teachers would have finished first place? We finished just in second.
I think one point I heard.
1 point. Yep.
1 point.
Because we didn't know that. Well, we did know, but we weren't confident in our answer that French fries were originally created in Belgium. We just figured it was an American thing because it's so associated with fast food, but we were wrong. Brother Pat knew the answer, but we second guessed ourselves into second place.
So when I go out all the time for dinner, I'm having a foreign meal.
See that? Foreign cuisine.
Foreign cuisine.
But yeah, it was a great night. It was a lot of fun.
And I think they have them with mayonnaise.
Do you think?
They put them with mayonnaise.
See, when I think of foreign...
I don't know how I would know that.
When I think of foreign French fries, I always think of poutine, like up in Montreal.
Oh,
The French fries, the gravy, and the cheese.
oh yeah.
It's insane. But,
Oakley has a mean one too.
Do
Yeah.
See, this is now turning into a food show. The spirit of Monsignor Vaughn
Watch out, Monsignor.
is permeating the hallways here. But food, trivia, yeah, it was a good time, and there was food. We had hors d'oeuvres and snacks and stuff, so people enjoyed that. So thanks to all who put that together, people who helped set up, and
Jess and Barbara,
that whole crew.
Barbara's husband, John, and there were a whole crew of people.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you a trivia question, but I couldn't think of anything. Other than the French fry one.
There
you
see,
go.
and I got it.
Uh-huh.
So we had trivia night. Let's see. I thought this says happy hour, but it's only an hour.
You can go from
French fries too.
You can go from holy hour.
Holy hour. This Friday. No, Friday the February 3rd. I told you, my calendar's all messed up. February 3rd at 7 p.m. We're going to get together here at the parish to pray during Catholic Schools Week, which I skipped over.
What's going on tonight?
We'll go over tonight. Tonight is Solemn Vespers at the Cathedral, St. Agnes Cathedral. For the Feast of St. Agnes, is it the feast?
The feast.
It's a feast.
We were trying to figure out when we were
It's not
doing the
a
graphic,
memorial.
it was feast, memorial, solemnity.
Well, there's different levels of solemnity and celebration. So solemnity is the top, and then there's feast, and then there's memorial.
St. Agnes is the patroness of our diocese. We Father Anthony often mentions it because we invoke St. Agnes' name at the end of every Mass that we celebrate. I have a personal bias, having grown up at the parish under her patronage, but we invoke her because she is the patroness of not just St. Agnes Cathedral, but by extension the entire diocese. So Father Duffy over at St. Agnes and Father Sandro DeLuz, the past couple of years, they've created, which I think is a really cool idea, a Triduum in honor of St. Agnes, where they had an event last night. There's going to be the Vespers evening prayer tonight, and then there's something, I think, a Mass in the morning. But Father Anthony had the idea, as we celebrate our 125th as a parish, also to call to mind that we belong to our diocesan community, and we have a link to our cathedral. So again, it was his idea to invite parishioners from here to kind of go on a pilgrimage. Everyone, you're all invited to come if you see this between now and then. It's not like we're gonna have a bus or anything. It's at your own leisure.
7:30 tonight.
Yeah, and Vespers begins at 7:30.
And tonight is the 20th.
Yes, sir.
Tonight is the 20th.
Yes.
It's a solemnity at the cathedral because she is the patroness of the diocese. So it has that high level of celebration in the cathedral only. It's a feast in the rest of the parishes, which is tomorrow. Actually, the feast is tomorrow. So tomorrow morning at 8:30 Mass in the morning, we'll celebrate St. Agnes. So if you can't make it tonight, come tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Mass, either here at St. Mary's or St. Peter's or whatever parish you're in.
Wherever you may find yourself.
Here on Long Island. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. So Saturday, the 21st at 11 a.m. As you know, many people will have traveled or already there. The bishop's already down in Washington.
Yeah.
Bishop Barris and others are down in Washington already to join the March for Life. Even though Roe versus Wade has been overturned, it doesn't mean that the fight for life has ended. Has ended. So we still have that fight to go, and especially in our state, which has the most egregious laws and practices, really, of the disrespect for life. So
one of the things that I've always found when I've gone to the march, obviously as Father Anthony said, now we're in a post-Roe world, so things are different. But one of the things that I'm always moved by is the outpouring of witness from across the country. And I'm glad that they're still down in Washington, because I think that all of us kind of need that solidarity and support, certainly in the values that we hold and in the faith that we also profess. I have memories of going to a mass the night before the march at the National Shrine filled with like 1,000 young people. People of all ages, but a lot of college students, high school students, youth groups, to see the national witness protecting the sanctity of human life and praying for the legal protection of life at that event was always moving to me. And hopefully our prayer going forward, as Father Anthony said, is the focus for us as New Yorkers shifts to New York, that we can kind of mobilize that effort in the same way up in Albany. I don't know, I can't speak for the New York State bishops or the local efforts here in terms of the witness, but certainly no doubt that'll be part of this next stage of defending and protecting the sanctity of life.
So the Knights of Columbus are sponsoring the Rosary tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. on the front steps of the church. So if you'd like to join them there, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to welcome you. Going back to Catholic Schools Week, that's January 29th through 28th, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the 28th, on the 28th Saturday, we're having an open house.
Yes.
And then it goes through February 4th. The open house is just on Saturday the 28th from 10 to noon. And Father John and I were over at the school this morning with a couple of the parents and Mrs. McMahon, our principal, and we were hashing out a whole bunch of things to do for open house with tours and the kids, the students giving parts of the tours and speaking with prospective parents and students, prospective students. Also talking about doing some displays and activities and things to see what Catholic education is about. It's wonderful. We were looking through many of the pictures from the class pictures, and we found a whole bunch of people we know in the parish. So
those pictures may or may not make an appearance at Catholic Schools Week. Back from the vault. It's a great opportunity for us as a parish as well as a school to kind of walk together in supporting our school. We're super excited about the open house, and we invite all of you. You're going to see at Mass this weekend. All of the lectors at Mass are going to be our students. The altar servers, all or most of them will be servers. You'll have students handing out bulletins at the end of Mass in their uniforms to witness to the parish that Our school is here. It's thriving. It's very much alive. And if you know anyone or anyone in your family of elementary school age or younger, we've got the nursery, the pre-K. It's a great place. It's a safe, loving, caring environment. All the parents that we talk to, they cherish the values of our school and the real community that our school fosters. So please, if you can make it to the open house, we definitely encourage you to stop by. Spread the word. Again, you'll be hearing about it a lot this weekend. But we're looking forward to celebrating our school and continuing to help it grow and flourish.
Last week when Father John and I were talking with some other parents, we realized that we're talking generational. There's several families who are still in the parish who they're three generations. There's a couple of three-generation families, and there's a whole slew of two-generation families in our parish schools. So that was a great thing to hear.
Totally.
109 years this year, and continuous service to the church through our parish and the world, because our kids go on to great and wonderful things, and they bring that love of St. Mary's with them. And we hear that often too. So there's going to be going back to another Holy Hour, Friday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. We want to get together because this is happening during Catholic Schools Week. We wanted to put together an evening where parents, school parents, and anyone who wants to join us, and students as well, administration, whoever, to come and pray for an increase in Catholic education. It is a superior education. I went to public school, so I know. No. It is a great education because it has the aspect of spirituality in it, something that we're not allowed to do in public school. We form and look at everything in Catholic school through the lens of our faith, and it really brings things home when you can look at our lives through faith, eyes of faith. We're better prepared for different things. The good we celebrate more joyfully, and the sad we celebrate as well with great compassion and hope. So we encourage you to come to Holy Hour, February 3rd, 7 p.m. Father John will preside. Winter break bingo. That's the end of February. We're talking already.
I know. And it's going to be
and it'll be here before we know it.
I mean, it's already January 20th, and it feels like it's January 2nd.
This is happening on Fat Tuesday. And Ash Wednesday is February 22nd. You'll see a schedule for masses and services for that coming out soon. But Winter Break Bingo, Tuesday, February 21st, 2 to 4 p.m. in the auditorium. You'll see look in the bulletin and website on how you can register for that. Jess is running that? Yeah, she ran she's the head party person around here. And she does a great job. So, and her crew and her volunteers, we're very thankful for all that they do. And then the final thing that we have to talk about is the Parish Lenten Retreat. Registration is open. It's on our website and social media? No, just on our website. Okay. There's people behind the camera.
A whole production studio that you can't see. We've got lights and little buttons and switches.
Things to make me look good. Trying to get the skinny thing, but it's not working. March 10th through March 12th. And why we want to tell you this soon, at this early date, is that it's going to be at the seminary in Huntington, where I went to study for the priesthood. If you haven't been there, it's a beautiful, beautiful building, and it's 215 acres of grounds that you can meander through, and beautiful places to stop and pray. And the other thing is that being that it is 2 nights and you have a private room, private bathroom, you don't have to share bathrooms. That was one of the things I liked. But it's 2 nights, private room, private bath for $250 a person. So we know sometimes you might want to save up for that. But we get dinners, lunches, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is all included. Everything that you need. That we're even going to have a couple of a get together in the evening, socials in the evening. So if you register by February 22nd, register by February 22nd so that we can get our numbers in. But if you register by February 8th, you'll have a chance to win 1 free night. So that'll cut that down, whatever it is.
You're the numbers person.
Yeah, I don't have my calculator.
One of the things I mentioned, we were talking about St. Agnes and going to the cathedral, the kind of connection between our parish and the diocese, is you might know one of the hats that I wear, in addition to being here, is helping out on a team of priests to help promote vocations on Long Island, vocations to the priesthood. And that Friday night of the retreat, there will be our monthly Vocations Holy Hour happening at the same time. I don't even think we planned it that way. It just sort of providentially occurred. But I think it will be a cool opportunity for those of you who are able to make the retreat to begin praying with people from across Long Island that night. I don't yet know who the guest or the homilist is going to be for that Mass, or for that Holy Hour, excuse me. But we figured it's a great way, number one, for us to be present there, to this diocesan event, but also, again, a reminder for us to continue to pray for vocations, so we can connect with them, and then as our weekend continues, then it'll be just us. We have a number of talks planned. We're kind of moving through a theme that we think will be fitting for Lent. We'll have celebrations of the Mass, as Father Anthony said, time to wander, time to pray, time to eat, time to nap, which I always love on retreat. There's something, one spiritual director once told me that on retreat, a nap is sacred, because if you're usually on retreat because you want to get away from the busyness of your life, but then if you're like bleary-eyed and tired while you're trying to pray, or be open to the movements of the Holy Spirit in your heart, he said, always budget time to just rest and relax.
My spiritual director, God rest him, Father Mahoney from Brooklyn, he used to say, it's okay to go talk to Monsignor Mattress.
Yeah, or as we call it, horizontal contemplation.
Horizontal contemplation. Yeah.
These are all the thoughts that kept us out of the good schools.
Yeah. But on another thing with if you can't make the weekend, the retreat weekend, think about coming up for the Holy Hour.
Mm-hmm.
That's something separate that we'll attend. Yeah. We'll be able to attend if you'd like to. But the Holy Hour is great as well. It's very well. It's a little bit of like what we do here. Mm-hmm. But what's beautiful about it's wonderful to get together with our parish family, our parish community, but then you also get a connection. You feel the connection that we're not just an island, by ourselves. We're part of a bigger church.
On an island.
On an island.
An island within an island.
An island within an island. But we're part of a larger community, and we're coming together to pray for vocations to the priesthood and religious life, which is something that we dearly need. Sadly, in the next few years, there's going to be a big drop-off in the number of priests in our diocese who are active. There'll be a lot of retired guys, but we're at that point where the active priests are going to be very few and far between, which means changes in many different things in the diocese and the way that we can help. we can minister to the 1.5 million Catholics on Long Island. So we need good priests to come forward. What else is there, Father John?
I think that's just about does it. We covered a lot of ground. I know it's been a couple of weeks since we checked in, and we'll be, I guess, on the threshold of Lent when we check back in. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you around campus.
And just remember Catholic Schools Week,
Yes.
and tonight, the 20th, we're on our way to the cathedral for Vespers at 7:30. Thanks, Father John.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless.